Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Scott Fortunoff. I was just whisked into the secret location in Greenville, South Carolina, and today I'm here to preview the 16 new lines that Studioe will be releasing for May 2016. Our reps will have the new lines in the next couple of weeks, which is the first week of May, and we're excited to show these lines, which we're going to really be presenting at the quilt market in Salt Lake City, Utah. So without further ado, let's get right to the lines. The first line I have is called Bunny Tails. This is by Luci Cravato, and this line has 12 SKUs and ships in October. As you know, we have that information is all on the front of the card. And then on the back of the card, we also have the names of the previous lines by the designers. So Luci did Puffy Teddy and Dream Catchers, which is shipping now and doing quite nicely, and Joy Love Peace, which will be shipping in May. So let's check out Bunny Tails. So here we have a 30-inch panel, not a 24-inch panel, not a 36-inch panel, but a 30-inch panel. And this is a nice soft pink color. And then we have some all-overs. We have little carrots, some little florals and butterflies, some bunny rabbits, and then, of course, we have a lovely dot. And here we have a book. This line is done in a pink and a blue color story. It's probably more feminine, but if you focus on the blues, you could have a sophisticated ensemble for a child, or you could even make the project in the blue or the other project in the pink. So those are the two projects that we have for the line, and this is Bunny Tails, and it ships in October of 2016. I just wanted to show you the book. The book is really cute. It says Bunny Tails, and then it has little things that the bunny is doing, and he's playing and snuggling and sharing, and very simple book. But what I also like about this is on the back it says this belongs to, and you can put your child's name right in there. Next up we have Dear Heart. This is done by Studioe. This is 15 SKUs and it ships in November of 2015. And of course, if you buy the whole collection, you could either get 12-yard cuts or 15-yard cuts. Make sure to indicate that on your purchase order. Here we go. 15 SKUs of red, black, white, and gray, hearts and dots and balloons. Very romantic line, love, Valentine's, what have you. No one would ever complain about getting a heart quilt because everyone likes being loved. Here we have little ladybugs. We have the little word print on the newspaper. We have some crisscross stripe, which kind of looks a little bit like a rickrack. And then we have the dots. And of course, we have the love arrows. And arrows in general have been trending up lately. So here we have the Project 1 and then the Project 2. Next up, Studioe, if you've been getting my newsletter, you probably know that Studioe is now running tea towels. We're always looking for new ideas, and this is something a little bit outside the box that we're going to try. So we have 18 different tea towels. 12 of them are designs and 6 are solids, and these are 20 by 27. These are made in India. They come in packs of 6, so in other words, if you want red, you get 6 pieces, and the price is very aggressive, and I would be watching out if I was the competition. So here are the designs, and not much more to say. You could feel them and see how they are, and I'm sure there are tons of patterns out there to make embroidery and embroider the towels however you might like. Next up, we have Fun with ABCs by Sarah Frederick-King. Sarah Frederick-King did Farm Friends, a dog park, a cat tail, and Dear Santa, which will be shipping later in May. So Fun with ABCs by Sarah Frederick-King, 12 SKUs, ships in September. This is a great line for learning. It's great primary colors. It's totally eye candy, which is nice. Here we have a 36-inch panel, and in the panel we have numbers in the corners, and then the alphabet. We have all the letters in the alphabet, and behind each capitalized letter, the lowercase letters are in the background, and then we also have the ruler framing the panel. We have peppered cottons that go nicely with this line. Don't forget the peppered cottons are all 10-yard cuts. And then we have just color, which is 15-yard cuts. Those are available all the time, and those are at a more aggressive basic pricing. Here we have some all-overs, an awesome dot. You could probably use this with any line, some ABCs. These are always good. A little crossword, rulers, and then you have, of course, a learning book, which I'll show you in a minute. And then we have some little words and letters in a print. And what you need to know about this one is pigment white. So this just shows you the reduced version of this pattern 3568, and then these are the block sizes in the panel, and the squares are 5 by 5. So here you have some suggestions on 108 wides that go with this line quite well. And then you have your 2 projects on the back. So this is Fun with ABCs by Sarah Frederiking. And here's the book. From A to Z, a book of ABCs, illustrated by Sarah Frederiking. And it just goes through all the alphabet. But once again, like the Bunny Tails line, it says this book belongs to, and you can put your name in it or your child's name, and you have a nice little rainbow and the dots. Very sweet. Next up, you all know DTK Signature. She did Cheeky Pumpkins and Cheeky Wee Pumpkins and Happy Camper, all very successful lines for Studio E. We're proud to have DTK on board. This is a 10 SKU line, and this ships in month 10, October. Let it bloom. Not a huge line, but mostly focused on gardening in your backyard, birdhouses, seeds, watering your plants, your flowers, little rakes and tools. A nice little dot that is meant to look a little dirty, so don't be surprised when you see that. And then, of course, we have the nice peppered cottons that go with this line. Here you have the 2 projects for this line. So that's Let It Bloom, and this is by DTK Signature. Next up, we have Modern Mixers 3. We are on number 3 with this line. Very simple concept, white and a color. We did it in 6 different designs and 5 different colors for a total of 30 SKUs. This ships in September of 2016. And if you buy the entire collection, the incentive is to get 10-yard cuts, so a 300-yard investment. Here we have Modern Mixers 2. So as you can see, we went with the safe blue, red, black, and gray. And then we got a little risky with the lime color. This lime is trending up very nicely, and I was convinced that we should definitely run this color. So here you have it. And then we have some suggestions of 108s that go with this line. And of course, we have the free projects on the back. And then we have some basics to go with the line as well. So just color and the peppered cottons, the new colors. So there you have Modern Mixers 3 by Studio E. Oh, the one last thing I want to mention about that line. In the past, we had printed it in China, and we priced it lower. This year we're doing it in Korea, and we're pricing it lower too, so the quality is going to be really nice. Next up, for all you Quilts of Valor people and Americana people, this is your line, Patriotic Pride. 14 SKUs, ships in January of 2016. And before I open the card, I just want to show you this really spectacular print. Here you have the panel, and this is a very cool design, very trendy with the words and the map. We have every state identified here on the map, more or less where it is located. So this is going to look really awesome on all those quilts, and I'm sure the recipients of these quilts are going to be super happy to get them. So here we have Patriotic Pride. Here's the piece I just showed you. This is a 36-inch panel, and this is selvage to selvage. We have the USA print, stripe, some dots. We have stars. In fact, this star, the one thing I want to point out is that it's a 07W color number, so that identifies that this is a pigment white. So where you have the gray, these are pigment white. We have the other color, the stars, the other color, the USA, the names of all the states, which is always a very functional piece for any quilt. And then we have the stripe, which is the USA flag, and this is how it lays out from selvage to selvage. And of course, we have our 108s. I'll talk about that on the next line that I show you. So there's some suggestions there, and you can check that out. So then finally, we have 2 quilts for this line. Free projects that you could download on our website. Patriotic Pride, shipping in January of 2017. All right, so as I alluded to, we did a card of just patriotic 108s. So for all those Quilts of Valors, Americana quilts, red, white, and blue quilts. And then we have this new group. It's called Americana Swirl 108. It ships also in January, the same time that the Patriotic Pride ships. This one is a white on white. We have the 01W pattern number. And then we have a white ground with the stars and a blue ground with the stars. And of course, Spangle 108 and the solid colors from our solid 108s. Don't forget, all of our 108s are 18-yard put-ups, except for the new peppered cottons, which we're going to be doing in 15-yard put-ups. And these are all 60 squares that we're printing in Pakistan, so best quality and best place to make 108 wide. So next up, Pepper Corey is back with some additions to the peppered cotton line. So here we have the original 50 colors that we've been running for some time now, and this line's been doing great. People are saying this is their new solid of choice. The hand and the quality are quite excellent. These are 10-yard put-ups. We make these in India. So we have 50 colors now that we're shipping at once, and we're excited to have 12 new colors. And what I love about these colors is the name, White Sugar, Cotton Rose, Buttercup, True Cheddar, and other great names. You could check them out yourself. But when writing these orders, just write peppered cotton and use the number. So for example, if you want the white sugar, you just write peppered cottons and color 09, and that will be a great way to order it. I just wanted to mention two of the colors on this line are, we're calling them shot cottons, but typically shot cotton implies that it's two different colors used to make a nice effect. When you look at it, it kind of changes shades on you because of the different colors. But we did do a white with white, a black with black, and a yellow with yellow. These are still yarn dyed, so it's not, so they're still yarn dyed like the peppered cottons and made the same way, but the two threads in the warp and the weft are still the same color. The one thing I wanted to mention is make sure to wash your peppered cottons in cold water. Don't leave them overnight in hot water. They're definitely going to bleed that way. And then also, if you go to our website, you could see Pepper did a whole write-up on good ways to work with the peppered cottons and suggested ideas. She's obviously used the peppered cottons a lot and has a lot of experience and great ideas to bring to the table and things that you might want to consider before working with the peppered cottons. Next up, speaking of the peppered cottons, we went out on a limb this year and decided to do 108 wide peppered cottons. We went with 8 SKUs. These are also going to ship in September when the new narrow goods, 44, 45 inch ship. So what we did here is we took the top colors from the original line and the ones that we thought would be best suited for quilt backing. We didn't go out on a limb with the colors yet. These are a little bit pricier than the other 108 wide backs that we have. So we wanted to try to put our best foot forward, and if this becomes successful, we'll continue to run new colors and maybe go out on a limb and do some riskier colors. The one thing I want to point out here, when you write up the orders on the 108, write peppered cottons 108 wide, and then you just write the color number. And what we did is we used the original color number and have an X next to it, identifying that it is a wide back. The one other thing I wanted to mention is that these are 15-yard cuts. I alluded to that earlier. 15-yard cuts because they're going to be pretty heavy bolts. So we took 3 yards off our typical 18-yard cut to make it a little lighter for you. The one last thing I want to mention is the shrinkage. It's less than 2%, which is really good. And that's it. There you have it. Next up, we have Peaceful Gathering by Studioe. This is a folk art type of line. It's 14 SKUs, and it ships in November of 2016. It's called Peaceful Gathering. And here you have the line. So here we have a 24-inch panel, and as I always say, when I first came to the business, my dad said, everything looks great on black, and of course this really stands out on the black. We have some nice florals in 3 colors, a nice scenic with some animals, you know, frolicking around on the land. Then we have your brush strokes that go nicely with this line, as well as the peppered cottons, a nice stripe, which you could see on the back of the card, how many rows you're going to get, little fox print, little diagonal stripe. And this is a log cabin print that we have in blue, red, and black, and we really like that print. Maybe we'll do it as a 108 sometime. But here we go. Let's see the projects. We have 2 projects on the back, and then we have the size of the squares in the panel. These are 6 by 6, and we also suggest some 108 wides to go with this line. So there you have Peaceful Gatherings by Studioe, shipping in November 2016. Next up, we have Salon de Fleur by Studioe Fabrics. Studioe Fabrics did the Winter Lodge line as well as Joy Noël. And this is a Parisian line with all kinds of references to locales in Paris. So you have the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, and we start off here with this 24-inch panel, and it has the big blocks in the middle. The small box on the side are 6 by 7. So these down here are 6 by 7, and on the back of the card we have a true to scale square, so you can see that. Nice all over tossed of a little floral on black and white, butterflies, a damask, some plants, a little coordinate, and then this tossed skew with all these different Parisian motifs, the stamps, the little bicycle, some French words, and and things of that sort. So this card was later to the game, and the projects are just taped on the back. This is Salon de Flore by Studioe Fabrics. Next up, Charlotte Foltz, Seaside Dreams. Charlotte did the Flight of Fancy and Winter Bliss line. And what I like about this line, it reminds me of the Barnacle Bay, which is a line by a different designer, but it's doing really well. And I feel like this goes with that same theme, and the color story is really lovely. And when I see this line, I want to be on a tropical island in the Caribbean, snorkeling or scuba diving. And so let's start off. This is 11 SKUs. It ships in October. We have a nice 24-inch panel in this lovely blue. On the back of the card, you can see the actual scale of the panel and the motifs inside. And then we have a little tropical fish print, a little stripe, and this little kind of monotone with coral and different shells. See how beautiful these just colors are at the bottom. They work perfectly with this line. And then you have your little shells, and then we have these blocks of shells, which shows selvage to selvage, but this is running yardage with a big conch shell, a sand dollar, and a seahorse, and some other motifs. And then we have the sand dollar print on the bottom, and the brush strokes that goes nicely with this line as well. And then finally, we have two projects. We have a table runner and placemat, and then a quilt. So that's Seaside Dreams by Charlotte Foltz. Next up, we have Jody Barrows. Jody Barrows did Memories of a Civil War, a soldier story in Cotton King. This is Soldier Story 2 by Jody Barrows of Square and a Square. This is a 14 SKU collection, ships it in January. And you'll notice on this line there's an E in front of all the patterns. Most of these patterns have been used before. We just recolored them, but we wanted to be consistent and have the E. So when you write these orders, make sure to put the E in there, please. This is Jody's 5th collection with the focus on the historical Civil War. Jody chose creams and browns and the turkey red and the deep blues to capture that feeling of the historical time period. The main feature is this 24-inch panel, and it's a map which highlights the conferences of the North and the South, and this now is colored up in a brown background. The collection also includes a stripe with all different Civil War elements in the neutral colors, and this is perfect for borders. Finally, this line goes great with the shadow weave line, as all of her other lines. We've sold them with the shadow weave line, and those are available in 10-yard cuts. So let's check out her patterns. Jody did 2 patterns for this quilt, and they're on the back. You can check those out. This is Soldier Story 2 by Jody Barrows of Square and a Square. Next up, we have a new designer to Studio E, Janelle Kent. She's out of Australia. This line's called Songbird. It's 14 SKUs and ships in December. So here we have, so basically this line's all about different bird motifs. It's very simple but lovely. And this is a selvage to selvage running yardage with little frames and all different motifs referring to birds, whether it's the bird cage or just the birds on the tree, or don't just fly, soar, a little quote, some word prints, all different coordinates, the birds on a blue ground, which is really kind of a neat print, and the bird cages, and as well as some feathers. Feathers have been doing quite well and definitely trending up, and I would say Janelle has that trend on spot. Here we go, 2 projects, both done by Janelle, and you can see those on the card, or you could go to the Studio E website as it gets closer to the delivery, and they'll be posted there in the free project section. That's Songbird by Janelle Kent. All right, last but definitely not least, Wash Day. This is by Debbie Hubbs. You'll remember Debbie's cute characters in Gertie's Grove, and she also did marinated chicken, and more recently she did the Barnacle Bay line, which is doing extremely well, and we're continuing to sell right now. So this is 16 SKUs and ships in October. Don't forget, if you want the full collection, you could get 12 or 15-yard cuts. And here you have it. So we have these little chickens on the gingham. We have the gingham in 2 colors, and then this cracks me up. We have this sheep that looks like he's been hanging out in the dryer a little bit too long, so he's all puffed up. And of course, we have a panel, 24-inch panel. It's really quite comical. Debbie Hubbs has a great sense of humor. Here's the other color stories. We have a great dot, little ironing, and pins for the clothesline, and a little stripe. This is how the stripe lays out, so you can see that. And then, of course, we have 2 quilts right here on the back. So that's Wash Day by Debbie Hubbs. Those are the 16 lines that Studio E will be presenting at the Quilt Market and in May of 2016. The deliveries are anywhere from September to January, but for the towels, which ship in June. So thanks so much for your time. Make sure to reach out to us on social media and read my blog, Tales of a Fourth Generation Textile Executive. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.